Hey, welcome back to the Nets. Unbiased views, we are fast, we are furious. Topics to be covered today: three games: New Zealand versus West Indies, South Africa versus England, and Australia versus India. A repeat of pretty much what we saw in the first time these three teams met together. So let's start with the first one: New Zealand versus West Indies. New Zealand, as we all know, is a brilliant limited overs team. They started off again with winning the toss, getting into bat this time around, and amazing innings from the newcomers. Devon Conway, 65 of 37, and Glenn Phillips, the right hand batsman, 23. And I'm pretty sure he has already been started compared to McCullum. I see him just being 23. I can see him serving New Zealand cricket for a while now. We might see him in India for sure when he comes in next to play the World Cup, T20 World Cup, but 108 of 51 balls. Once you put a score of that kind, 236 for the loss of 4 wickets, you pretty much have washed out the team from the beginning. But then again, if any team that can chase it, it has to be this West Indies team. West Indies is known for being hard hitters. They don't really a daunting run rate doesn't really intimidate them. They do what they do and they continue chasing. What they would have liked in this case was a good start from the openers, but then King got out of the very first ball that he faced, and then after that it was just downhill. They needed a good start, but that apparently didn't work out for them. It was downhill after that. There was only one man of the match that could have happened after this game, and that was Glenn Phillips. The funny thing is, Taylor so far in this tournament or in this series has not gotten off the mark, and that was because the first time he got run out, and the second time he wasn't even needed. So he came in, and that was the end of it. I don't think he scored anything at the end of that. Let's move on to the next game. South Africa versus England. I think making Mark Boucher and Smith making De Kock the captain is actually weighing against South Africa. De Kock, we know historically, is a free flowing batsman. He likes doing things, he stays behind the wickets, comes in at the top. I think captaincy is starting to weigh down on him. And I know it's early days yet, but we see him making some erratic decisions. His batting looks a little bit tentative. Yes, he's scoring 30 odd in 18 balls, which is common for him, but since the IPL, we know that he's a free flowing batsman. He likes to be there and take the score a little bit higher than he can, tries to be there at least at the ninth or 10th over if possible. I see that is lacking. South Africa never really got going, or 20s for all their players, 20 in 18, and just when it's time for you to begin throwing your bat around, you get out. That doesn't really help you much. All that being said, the pitch was a little bit stop and go, and turns up that it was. They managed to score 146 for 7, loss of 7 wickets. When England came into bat, the idea was to get early wickets, but that didn't happen. England started off pretty steady. Got in the first power play, I think they were scoring at run a ball. Considering 146 to chase, you can definitely go at that rate. They lost 2 wickets at the end of the first 10 overs, and then it was just a matter of time. All they needed was one big innings, and considering the players that are in the England ranks, one of them fires and England is winning and chasing down the score. The highlight of that match was again keeping a close eye on the World Cup being in India. I think Linde and Tabraiz Shamsi are the two ones that people would be keeping a close eye on. Shamsi managed to get 3 wickets for 18 in his 4 overs, so good performance. But again, 147 was never going to hold England off. So that was the end of that game. The last one, it was just like a deja vu of the first game. Australia versus India. Winning the toss, Warner and Finch comes in. They don't look to get out till the 20th, 23rd over. The score is already 136. And in this game particularly, I would say that They were favored. I mean, toss going their way, they were lucky. Uh, Besides that, the wind that was blowing across the ground, you saw that Bumrah was taken off in the second over. The second over of his spell, Bumrah was given a rest after that because it was just either bowl Bumrah or either bowl Shami. One of the bowler was just wasting. There was no point on continuing with two fast bowlers. So that was something that played in favor of Australia. The temperature was around 40, so the fatigue and tiredness will also be a massive factor. Uh, that takes nothing away from the way the Australians have batted in this tournament so far. We saw a brilliant inning from Smith yet again, getting to 162, 63 odd balls. Finch and Warner giving a solid start. And if the openers cannot really get you wickets on a flat track, it's just waiting to happen. What I do not understand from Virat Kohli's standpoint is not trying out a spinner in the power play. We know that Chahal and Jadeja both go out for runs because if you don't really get a wicket early on, you tend to the Australian attack tends to go after the spinners, and that is what happened with Jadeja as well. Jadeja was initially when he did come in, he was able to hold them back. I think till the sixth over, he had just given 24 odd runs. He didn't get any wickets, but at least he was able to hold them down. Post that, it was just waiting to happen. They took him apart in the last 4 overs that he bowled. Yet again, Bumrah wasn't able to really give the breakthrough that we wanted. Shami looked lethal. What I am a little bit unsure of is Saini. Is Saini really a ODI bowler or is he more a T20 bowler? I know that he has been given a chance to play the ODIs because of his T20 performance, but bowling 24 balls, you always try to get wickets. In case of ODIs, you cannot really get a wicket of every ball that you bowl, so you have to keep varying your lengths. And I think Saini is. We saw the lack of that from Saini. Same goes with Chahal. So with Chahal, it's a different case altogether. Chahal seems to be surprising because for the first 4 5 overs, he was bowling to a left-hander and a right-hander, and he did not even try his wrong one once. So that was a little bit surprising. That one time that he did try the wrong one, I think it was against Finch, and Finch was surprised a little bit, and he had to bring the bat in at the last minute. So that for me was something which I find a little bit strange from Saini. Lack of confidence or the fear of getting hit. But then he was getting hit and he is getting hit for a while. So I do not know what is going on with him. I think this team is a little bit too much Kohli based. And we'll get on to the Rohit Sharma factor again at the very end. But changes that we would like to see in the last ODI, I would definitely like to see Rahul getting back to his original spot. He's way good of a batsman to be coming in after the 30th over. He needs to get a long run. That means that if it comes to dropping Mayank, let's just call it Mayank is rested, just because of the fact that Mayank will be a part of the entire tour. So let's just rest Mayank, push Rahul up. Samson comes in. I would definitely try Natarajan, rest Bumrah maybe, bring in Natarajan, and I don't know if Deepak Chahar is a part of this team, but I would have liked to see Deepak Chahar replace Shami, just to give Shami a break. So that would be my change. I would want Kohli to still be there. We need his confidence factor high up. Middle order, Sanju Samson should come back in since Rahul is moving up. And Shreyas Iyer, well, I do not really know what the long-term goal of Shreyas Iyer is now that he has been asked to stay back for the Test series, and we already saw him looking a little bit hesitant with the bouncers. I think Shreyas Iyer might not be a good one to at least start on this tour. So let's just hope Rohit Sharma is back. Rohit Sharma is fit and he comes back in whenever he does. So on the Rohit Sharma update, it's believed that there was a phone call, a video conference that happened between Rohit Sharma, BCCI, Kohli and Shastri. And the reports are not out yet, but it was also said that it didn't really go all that well. So it's two massive egos clashing together. And if you ask me, coming in from following Mumbai Indians for long, I would rather prefer Rohit as the captain. I have said that quite a few times, but I would rather prefer Rohit Sharma as the captain over Virat Kohli, at least in the limited over edition. That being said, another point I would like to make is I am not too worried about Bumrah and Shami not getting wickets because of the fact that it's taken a while for them to read these Australian tracks. The fact that Hardik Pandya could come in and add some variety to it opened a lot of eyes. It was a little bit too late for that, but at least that opened eyes that yes, this was the way to bowl on a Sydney ground. Canberra will be a different field. It will be a flat track. Warner has injured himself. He will be ruled out at least for the T20s and the remaining ODI. So Australia might have to rethink their combination. They have already got Stoinis sitting in the ranks who might come back in. Enriquez, who did a brilliant job in absence of Stoinis, but nonetheless, again, the onus falls on Indians for not capitalizing on that one weakness that Australia had. But again, I do feel that Shami and Bumrah, who will probably are pitching the ball up, maybe a different bowler or different set of bowlers altogether when they are playing the T20s or they are playing the test matches. So on that note, let's just keep our fingers crossed that BCCI sends out Rohit Sharma. BCCI also realizes that maybe Surya Kumar Yadav could actually add more value than Shreyas Iyer in test matches. Keeping my fingers crossed. That's all that I have for today. Have a good rest of the weekend and stay healthy and stay safe wherever you are. So one last note would be please do subscribe to us. Please do add us. Add the check mark, add the bell icon so we get the new videos that do come in. If you like us, give us a shout out. If you don't like us, leave it in the comments. We will be glad to work on it. And on that note, have a great rest of the week. Thank you.